Season 12 is reaching the halfway point, and it's usually about this time that we get all of the news from data leakers just pouring on in. And with this season, we got a juicy update with a huge leak of the next legend coming into Apex. This is NEWCASTLE. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down some of that leaked data we have for NEWCASTLE and talk about what he does and where I think he will fall in the meta. But just quickly, we all know that there are a ton of legends in Apex already, and learning them can be overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be. Over on the GameLeap website, we have top level coaches creating highly in-depth guides all of the time. These guides are targeted towards highly specific areas of Apex like legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more. So if you want to learn all you can about Apex Legends, click the link in the description, get yourself a membership, or I won't tuck you in tonight. But now let's dive back into NEWCASTLE and start off with a few things we know about him. And the first thing is we have his icon in game next to other legends, those being Seer and Ash, so it looks like he was supposed to come into the game before Maggie was. Now this icon was leaked a while ago, and I do know that this photo looks like it was taken with a Nokia back in 2003, but it's the only one that there is of its kind, so sorry about that. There is a new set of icons leaked in the footage that came out recently, but they look a lot different, so I did want to show this one. But in that image, we can see that he is a defensive legend like Gibraltar, and it is hard to read, but the image does say NEWCASTLE. And the two legends to the right of him are the other leaked legend, Hawk, that we will talk about in a later video when we have more hard evidence. And the other is Maggie, and I'm sure we all know by now who Maggie is because she's been out for like a month and a half at this point. But the leaks go even further to show NEWCASTLE's abilities and what he does, and he basically is if Lifeline and Rampart had a baby. First up, his passive is called Retrieve the Wounded. This allows you to drag downed allies, so kind of like in Fortnite how you can pick up your wounded friends and chuck them around. This will be similar and kind of a nice tool to counter teammates getting thirsted. Or even if somebody on your team happens to get Craybridge, you do have a way to get them to safety and not basically lose your game in the blink of an eye. It doesn't mention if there will be a movement speed penalty when moving an injured ally, and it wasn't shown in the leaked footage either, so I am very interested to see how that will come into play. If there is a movement speed penalty, how much will it be? Or if there isn't one, will it be that useful? Will it not be? I don't know. But the other part of his passive that caught my attention was the last bit saying, and protect them with your revive shield. Now, for those of us who have been playing for a while, you'll remember that Lifeline did have a revive shield that would pop up in front of a downed teammate when they were getting rezzed. It was taken away from her a few seasons ago, and people have been asking for it back ever since. Well, this seems like it is coming back, just not on Lifeline. I'm not really 100% sure why they would take Lifeline's res shield away from her and give it to someone else when it did fit on Lifeline perfectly fine. Maybe it's lazy programming, maybe it's a better implementation of it and we will have to wait and see, or maybe it's Maybelline. But that's his passive, so let's move on to the tactical mobile shield. This is where NEWCASTLE throws a drone that creates a shield in front of him. A drone that creates a shield in front of you. Very original, Respawn. But in all seriousness, this drone can be slightly controlled and it is able to change the direction that it faces when you ping. You can't shoot out of it and people can't shoot into it, so it can allow you a nice breath of fresh air in certain situations. It does seem like they're kind of making a bridge between Rampart and Gibby with this if you kind of think about it. If the dome and Rampart walls kind of melted together into an ability, this is what I think it would kind of look like. Though it doesn't seem wide enough to protect you from nades or even Maggie's riot drill, so I'm thinking it will have very limited circumstances like Rampart, but this will depend on the actual width that makes it into the game. And finally, we have his ultimate castle wall. This is where he leaps into the air and crashes down on a target ally or area and then creates a fortified stronghold. The distance you can leap seems pretty far and might actually be a decent mobility tool for a certain kind of playstyle. But what's a little lackluster is the so-called fortified stronghold. I get that in Apex even the smallest bit of cover can win games, but the walls seem fairly tiny and don't offer much cover. A few well-placed nades would easily make that obsolete and kind of useless. The two walls to the side aren't really that tall, and one thermite grenade can easily make that unplayable. It's not to say that it won't be good in some situations. It could be amazing for saving that octane that ran into a full team of people for the 5th time this game, but in a straight up 3v3 it seems like there won't be much protection and enemies can easily play around it. Maybe if you were to couple this with a rampart to have extra protection, and the amplified walls could be meta, but we will have to see how that comes into play. With these abilities, it does seem like he's going to be mainly used for his tactical and passive to quickly relocate teammates that are downed and kind of be sort of a fight resetter. Though with how amazing Gibby is in his current state, I don't think Newcastle will come storming into any ranked metas, but I could be wrong. I personally didn't think Valkyrie would be meta, but here we are. And now you may be thinking to yourself, why is Newcastle important? Why is he the next legend? How does he fit into the game? And while this bit of lore is kinda small, it does play a role, so let's talk about that. All of the way back in Season 4, we were introduced to a legend called Forge. Forge was just a big hoax to throw all the data miners off the trail of Revenant, and Rev did kill Forge in a trailer. In that trailer, Forge is talking to a reporter called Lisa Stone. So this is important because a little bit ago, the Apex Legends Twitter account started uploading podcast episodes. These podcasts saw the return of Lisa Stone, and it's kind of weird to bring back a random side throwaway character so many seasons later. And Lisa really had no connections to the current lore, especially with what's going on with Mad Maggie when she joined the games and when those episodes were uploaded. Plus, another thing to note is Newcastle was the runner-up in the Season 4 contest that was going to bring Forge into the games. But when he was killed, instead of taking the runner-up, Newcastle, they just threw Revenant into the games and called it a day. So with the only connection Lisa has to the games being Forge and Newcastle, it is a fairly safe assumption that Newcastle is going to be the next legend coming into the game. And the one after that is probably Hawk. Respawn themselves have said that the next couple of legends won't really be Titanfall lore heavy, so it's unlikely that we will be seeing Blisk or anyone along those lines anytime soon. I would assume that we're going to get more of a setup and build upon Octane's dad taking over the games, and then Blisk is forced to step in or something like that, but we will have to wait and see. So now, what do you guys think? Are you excited for Newcastle and his ability set? Do you think you're going to main him? Let me know in the comments down below. Me personally, I'm going to wager unless his abilities get a bigger radius or something, he will probably be popular for the first week until the hype dies off, then he will see a very tiny pick rate, probably down near the bottom if I have to guess. Also guys, please do take this with a grain of salt. We are still a ways away from Season 13's release, and Respawn can always change stuff. Leaks are dangerous because they aren't 100%, so as more information comes out, we will be updating you. So if you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with any more news, plus all of the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips and tricks, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Also, ring that bell to be notified when we post. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.